You're listening to Thunderquack Podcast Network.
It's 10 questions about Tim's Perfect 10, Final Fantasy 10. It's time for a Perfect 10 pop quiz. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Perfect 10 Pop Quiz. It's Mike, and I'll be your host for 10 questions about Tim's Perfect 10 video game, Final Fantasy X. What is the Perfect 10 Pop Quiz? It's the trivia companion show to Thunderquack Perfect 10. And you guys are probably at this point asking yourselves, what's going on? Tim is the host of Perfect 10 Pop Quiz. Well, guess what? Because Tim was the guest on this month's Perfect 10, I decided that I would take over for him and I would be running you guys through the 10 questions about his Perfect 10 Final Fantasy X. So I'm just wondering how many times I can say the word 10 in this podcast about Final Fantasy X on Perfect 10 and the Perfect 10 Pop Quiz. If you count all of the 10s, let me know how many 10s I said. It's already more than 10, and all of them count. So tally them up and let us know over on social media. But now it's time for us to jump in to 10 questions about this month's Perfect 10. It's Final Fantasy X trivia time. Okay, are you guys ready for some questions about Tim Dipple's Perfect 10 Final Fantasy X? Let's jump into the first question. Here we go. What is the name of the sports minigame that Tidus and Wakka play? Here comes the second one. Versions of Tidus, Wakka, Riku, and several other Final Fantasy X characters are featured in what other video game that also happens to be a Perfect 10? Question 3. The voice of Tidus is performed by this actor, who is also the voice of my favorite Star Wars character. That one might be a little bit tricky if you don't listen to the other podcast, but if you do, I think you already know. Our fourth question, Final Fantasy X is notable within the Final Fantasy franchise for what technical innovation made possible by the DVD disc size of the PlayStation 2? Question number 5. Yuna's character class is Summoner. What are the creatures she summons known as? Previously referred to as Espers and Guardian Forces in past iterations of Final Fantasy. Number 6. Leveling up the sphere grid was originally represented on the characters using what visual element? Question number 7. After Final Fantasy X-2, the story of Tidus, Yuna, and Spira continues. What format was it released in? Here we go. Question 8. There are 26 unique items in the game that allow you to translate and understand the Al Bhed subtitles. What are they called? And number 9, what major film's twist ending affected the script of Final Fantasy X, prompting them to change the plot prior to its release? And here is our final question, number 10. What was the name of Jex's signature Blitzball move? Give you a moment to figure out your answers, write them down, do whatever you gotta do. We'll be right back with the answers. Okay, here we go with the answers to the Perfect 10 Pop Quiz for Final Fantasy X. Number 1, what is the name of the sports minigame that Tidus and Wakka play? That's Blitzball. Blitzball with a Z. Number 2, Versions of Tidus, Wakka, Riku, and several other Final Fantasy X characters are featured in what other video game that also happens to be a perfect 10? And this one's from way back in Season 1. That game is Kingdom Hearts. The answer to number 3, the voice of Tidus is performed by this actor who is also the voice of my favorite Star Wars character. Of course, that is the one and only James Arnold Taylor, voice of Obi-Wan Kenobi, as well as Ratchet in our upcoming Perfect 10 game, Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, coming next month. And number 4, Final Fantasy X is notable within the Final Fantasy franchise for what technical innovation made possible by the DVD disc size of the PlayStation 2? That is that it was the first Final Fantasy game with a full voice cast. Not fully voice acted, still a lot of characters with no voice and a lot of text to read, but it was the first Final Fantasy game whose main cast was all voice acted in the game. Okay, number 5, Yuna's character class is Summoner. What are the creatures she summons known as, previously referred to as Espers and Guardian Forces in past iterations of Final Fantasy? Those are Aeons, and they go by a bunch of names across all of the different Final Fantasy games, but in Final Fantasy X they are referred to as Aeons. Okay, number 6, leveling up the sphere grid was originally represented on the characters using what visual element? And this is about the most, early 2000s answer possible. They were originally going to be represented by tribal tattoos that changed and grew as you leveled up. Yeah, that would have been something else. Okay, number 7, after Final Fantasy X-2, the story of Tidus, Yuna, and Spira continues. What format was it released in? The follow-up to Final Fantasy X and Final Fantasy X-2 took the form of an audio drama called Final Fantasy X Will, and according to Joe, it sucks. So I don't know. I haven't listened to it, but yeah, I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. Number 8. There are 26 unique items in the game that allow you to translate and understand the Al Bhed subtitles. What are they called? Those items are the Al Bhed primers. So they're basically books that you're gathering and you learn the Al Bhed language, and as you do, the subtitles go from weird symbols to English characters, and then you can read the subtitles. Number 9, what major film's twist ending affected the script of Final Fantasy X, prompting them to change the plot prior to its release? That movie was The Sixth Sense. Originally, Tidus was dead the entire time, but this was changed to him becoming a dream of the faith, and Auron being the one who was dead all along, because they were worried that it would be too similar to that film's plot. And our final question, number 10, what was the name of Jecht's signature Blitzball move? And that special move of his was the sublimely magnificent Jecht Shot Mark III. So there you go. That's all of our answers, and that is our 10 questions on Tim's Perfect 10 Final Fantasy X. How many times did I say 10 in this episode? No one will ever know. Much like, how many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop? Some things are just impossible to answer. But if you do know the answer, you can let us know over on social media, as well as how well you did on this month's Perfect 10 Pop Quiz. You can head over to Blue Sky and you can message us at TQPerfect10, or hang out with us over on the Discord at thunderquack.com/Discord. And of course, thank you everybody for supporting Thunderquack and Perfect 10. If you want to support us, you can do that by heading to patreon.com/Thunderquack, where you can get early access to this podcast, as well as the regular episodes of Perfect 10 and other podcasts from the Thunderquack Podcast Network. And I just gotta take a second. I gotta say thank you so much, Tim, for doing all of the previous episodes of Perfect 10 Pop Quiz. Thank you so much for all of that, and we look forward to more Perfect 10 Pop Quizzes in the future. So yeah, how did you do on this one? And stay tuned, because maybe eventually we will do a pop quiz on your Perfect 10. Stay frosty.